wanted to share an item with you that I pulled off of my eBay store, off of all of my platforms, because I decided to keep it. It's displayed behind me, and I want to give you a little back history before I go grab it. But we purchased it at a garage sale in California. It took the trip from California to Colorado with us. Because if I haven't mentioned, when we moved from California after our son was finished and set up with his job, we sold everything, and I'm talking everything, furniture. I mean, we had minimal things when we moved because we had bought a RV that we were going to basically tour around the US in. So we went from California to Colorado. It was going to be our first stop. We stayed with his sister on their property. They have a huge property. So we stayed there for quite a while. And the gas prices just kept going up and up. And unfortunately, we wound up not being able to do what we originally wanted to, which is what prompted us to eventually buy this house. So this item went from California to Colorado, and it's set in storage in my sister and brother-in-law's storage unit until we got the house, and then we moved it here. And then he set upstairs in a bedroom for quite a while before I relisted him. And he's sitting in the chair behind me. And a little bit of story on both of those items. The chair we got from an auction here in the closest town to us. And my husband started doing some researching on the chair. That chair is from the late 1800s. It's a violin back chair. And we started really looking up comps and stuff because we were going to resell it. And it's about an $1,800 chair. One chair, not the whole set, just the one. And I stuck it over there until I was able to get pictures of it, and it fit so well, I haven't been able to get rid of it. And I'm probably not going to, because we wanted to keep the items that we're putting into the house. Most of them we wanted to keep time specific, so that fits perfectly into the decor we're going to be doing. But the bear that is sitting back there is a one of a kind. And so let me go grab it. So this is Little Foggy. And Little Foggy, let's see if you can see it there. He is signed by the lady who made him, and her name was Dorothy Darden. That's dated 1970. So he's got, his clothes are all removable. I've taken them off just to see, if he had any other markings or anything, but it's a one of a kind. And like I said, I had it listed forever, and I had it listed high. I didn't want to sell it, super cheap, and it just sat and sat. And I got a couple of hits here and there wanting to offer me like half of what I know he's worth. And about 2 weeks ago, I get a message in the evening, and I'm going to read you the message right now. So I brought my computer down here if you can see it. So it says, "Love this," and she was referring to the listing. "Dorothy Darden was my mother. She passed in 2008, and I truly miss her. I hope this precious bear goes to someone who will love and cherish it. Betsy Hunter." So, I responded back, and I said, "That's amazing." I said, "He currently sits on a 200-year... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That chair is older than the house. So that's an early 1800s, so I was right. 200-year-old violin back chair in our 120-year-old home. I said, "We love rescuing vintage and antiques items." I said, "We found him in Ventura, and he's kind of become our little mascot." And, it was at that point that I realized I can't sell him. There's a reason we found him, and a reason that he's traveled from location to location with us and nobody's purchased him. It's because he belongs here. And like I said the other day, that's why I do vintage. I love the backstories. And this, I'm getting goosebumps because, to have the lady's daughter reach out to us, and she didn't want to purchase him or anything. She just wanted to let me know that she hoped he went to a good family. And so I did message her back and I said, you know what? I pulled the listing down. I'm not going to sell him. I'm going to keep him because he fits. And at this point, he's, like I said, he's become our mascot from location to location. So he will not be going anywhere. And that is why I wanted to kind of share this with you and make you understand. A lot of people are like, don't sell vintage. It's not going anywhere anymore. That's not true, because there's always somebody out there looking for something from a certain era or from their childhood. And that's why we do it. And yes, if you go on my store, you're going to think, not all of these things apply. And they don't. We're still selling off a lot of my father-in-law's stuff, which was almost all of it's vintage because they were collectors. But things that we try to buy now, I try to get one-of-a-kind items. And, my husband and I talked the other day. Yeah, no, these are not one-of-a-kind that I showed you today. But we talked and decided that if we go into a thrift store, we are going to look for an item that isn't on eBay, that no one else has. Truly unique items, one-of-a-kinds that are made, with that in mind, with not being this mass-produced item. And, not that we're not going to sell older radios and stuff. And yeah, there's more of those out there, but my husband fixes them up, repairs them, and then we resell them working, and a lot of times that's hard to find. So I just wanted to share that with you and show you our mascot and why I have decided not to get rid of him. And, when you think that you have to really change the way you're selling or the items you're selling, sell what you love. May not sell quickly, and you may have to accept that, but when it does, it's the feeling of knowing that you've given somebody back either, an item from their childhood, or maybe something that reminds them of a loved one that they've lost.